All right, hello and welcome to the Gentle Valley Long-Term Care Case. I'm Alessandro Crisci, and let's begin. So a little bit of background. Gentle Valley was founded in 2001 by Mara Williams after experiencing personal issues with the Ontario long-term care home system. After her grandfather passed, she spent a lot of time and effort getting educated and saving up money, and she decided to found her own long-term care home just outside Kingston, Ontario. And her main mission was to provide quality care to people who lived in the area, and she wanted to run a long-term care home right compared to that of the rest of Ontario. So the current state of Gentle Valley, the COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted many underlying issues that Gentle Valley has. Currently, the long-term care home is understaffed and overworked. Ashisha Brown, officially the office manager of Gentle Valley, is responsible for many duties, including their human resources. Ashisha has realized that now is the time for change within Gentle Valley, as the situation within the home has deteriorated to a very, very low point due to COVID-19. Residents' quality of care has dropped. As the regulations surrounding COVID-19 has put a large amount of pressure on the home due to the staffing requirements, the protocols, and many other things. And Mara's approach of management has been put into question. As vaccines have been released, there have been a number of questions to be answered and decisions to be made that will shape the future of Gentle Valley. So the immediate issue revolves around employee vaccinations. If they're able to be mandated, if an employer, specifically a healthcare long-term care employer, is able to require its staff to get a vaccine, and the refusal of two critical staff, of getting the vaccine. Gentle Valley notified its employees that they must get the vaccine as soon as possible, or else their job is at risk. And she should then have two of her employees let her know that they refused to take the vaccine. One was for critical medical reasons, as the staff member believed that if they took the vaccine, it could have very negative implications with her current health conditions. The other staff member refused on the basis of personal creed and beliefs. His lifestyle refuses to allow him to consume a vaccine, and he would even consider it to be a religious belief, which creates another issue. The complexity surrounding this issue is the legality of employer-enforced vaccination. In Ontario, it's currently a pretty gray area when it comes to employer-enforced vaccination. The short answer is no, they can't, because there is no federal or provincial laws regarding vaccination in the workplace or in healthcare, specifically mandating it or specifically allowing and giving the provisions for employers and or healthcare employers to make their staff members required to get a vaccine. There are arguments to be made for both sides. The side for enforcing it regards around the Occupational Health and Safety Act, which basically is a legal mandate that requires that it's the responsibility of the employer to provide a safe workplace and protect their workers from harm to their health. And because COVID's a pandemic and there is a way for the employer to mitigate risk and promote a safe workplace through the vaccine, that is seen as an ability the employer has to either terminate employment if an employee does not get a vaccine, or take other steps needed. However, it wouldn't pass the legal test outlined in Section 9 of the Ontario Human Rights Commission, and possibly discriminatory for multiple reasons, and the employer would have to provide accommodation to those discriminated against, unless it provided undue hardship for the employer. Other complexities regard around the repercussions within Gentle Valley, as there's a huge gap between the staff and the residents when it comes to the time that they're able to get the vaccine due to stored conditions for the Pfizer vaccine. Concern that more employees might refuse to get the vaccine if both staff members do not get it is another concern, as it could start a trend or a movement within the staff, as they're already disheartened and already not very happy with the way that the workplace has treated them. Both staff members who refuse to get the vaccine are critical for the function of Gentle Valley. There's the possibility of COVID getting into Gentle Valley, which risks the safety of the rest of the staff and the residents. So some recommendations for the immediate issue: encourage instead of require. Change the official notice to strongly encourage, due to the discriminatory issues, to help not deter Gentle Valley staff, and in a way to kind of encourage them to get the vaccine is to pay for the time spent getting the vaccine, as they would be getting it outside their regular work hours. Accommodation or paid leave for those who refuse to get the COVID vaccines, and the accommodation could be in regards to a routine COVID test every time they walk into the workplace, and or additional personal protective equipment such as gloves, masks, etc. If these accommodations cause undue hardship or other complications with those workers. The staff could be given leave with reduced pay until the COVID pandemic is deemed to be under control, and or the rest of the staff and residents in Gentle Valley have been vaccinated. Also, vaccine education and promotion. With help of Dr. Gupta, start a vaccine education program, educating the staff and residents alike about the vaccine, which will help promote people to get the vaccine, as well as mitigate any fears and hesitancy that people have surrounding vaccine and vaccine misinformation. Also start a campaign by giving out vaccine buttons, as the Ontario provincial government has recommended something like this, as it shows solidarity. It helps people be more aware of vaccines. Underlying issues. Gentle Valley's mission, employee compensation, and staff management are all key and the most important underlying issues that affect Gentle Valley at the moment. Gentle Valley's mission is the first underlying issue. Mara has made the mission for Gentle Valley to provide quality care for its residents. However, she approaches this in a way where she does it at the expense of the staff. Mara's mindset is oriented around the fact that staff should generally care about their residents that they're taking care of. And while this is a very nice and optimistic thing, it's kind of unrealistic. While this approach in accomplishing her mission has worked in the past, times have really changed. Whereas before, many of the staff members would just be working at Gentle Valley as a part-time job just to provide a supplemental income, as they had other people in the household who were providing a main income. However, times have changed extremely, and external factors have resulted in staff that is not able to rely on this minimum. And many are in very tough positions as they have family and other responsibilities outside of work. Employee compensation is another big deal and underlying issue that surrounds Gentle Valley, as most of the employees at Gentle Valley are severely undercompensated. Many of them are overworked, and many of them have gone above and beyond the call of duty, yet they have not been compensated fairly for their work. Within Gentle Valley, most of the staff earns towards the low end compared to the rest of the industry, and even though PCAs are vital for the running of Gentle Valley, their compensation is not fair, and their supervisor has made that explicitly clear, and this resulted in a very high turnover for Gentle Valley compared to other long-term care homes in Ontario. Staff management. Many of the staff require two jobs due to the nature of the part-time work and the minimum compensation that has been associated with Gentle Valley. And having too many part-time workers reduces cohesion, as there's not that many to help one accomplish her mission, as to make Gentle Valley feel like a family-oriented, smaller, more caring establishment. But it also, generally, when it comes to HR, means cohesion is better with a strong, smaller team. And recruitment is another part of staff management that needs to be fixed, as staff members such as Michael should be avoided in the future from the beginning of the recruitment process, as Michael had many very important duties, such as finding additional revenue sources through different optional services and funding. However, he didn't get any of that done, and he ended up quitting before any of that got accomplished, and he socialized a lot on the job. And while it was nice to see that many of the residents enjoyed speaking with him, Gentle Valley cannot afford to just be paying people to socialize. It needs to have people who care about what they're doing and get the job done. So recommendations for these underlying issues. They're all related, and from the top down, there's a good amount of recommendations. First, from the very top, the approach and the mission of Gentle Valley must be growth-oriented and prioritize staff as much as it does the residents. When it becomes growth-oriented, organizations able to increase profits, increase revenue, it's able to reinvest that into its staff, into its residents, and into accomplishing the mission that Mara has actually sent out, which is providing quality care, making it feel more like a family. She'll be able to have more amenities for these residents as a growth-oriented mission. And incorporate human resource management as a strategic part of Gentle Valley, as her mission doesn't really take into account that in order to provide quality care, you need to invest in your staff and really care about your staff, as an organization or a corporation or a business is only as strong as the people that make it up. Create a strategic plan that focuses on staffing, compensation, benefits, and retention. Convert some high-hour working part-time staff to full-time in order to have them be more focused on the job at hand, rather than juggling two jobs at once. And increasing compensation benefits for staff. So timeline in the action plan. We learned in the case that there's $2 million in a fund that can be used for urgent needs for Gentle Valley should they arise. And the short-term action plan is to draft a new notice regarding the vaccine, explicitly stating that it is strongly encouraged and not required. Use some of the fund money for paid vaccine time to help encourage people to go out and not discourage them from going out and getting the vaccine, as they wouldn't be paid to go out of their workday and do it. Also use that money to invest in accommodation for refusing staff. Educate and promote vaccine staff staff and residents of Gentle Valley to help limit the spread of misinformation and to help encourage people to recognize the safety and efficiency of vaccines. Medium-term action starts with prioritizing staff in Gentle Valley's mission, which then would lead to stop providing services at staff's expense, which leads to the big hurdle, increasing staff compensation to pandemic pay, hire a new activities manager, and invest in additional revenue sources. This would increase revenue and allow more money to be reinvested back into Gentle Valley and help increase compensation packages, help show that there's a path for growth if you stay for longer, helping people really care about what they're doing and see a future for themselves at Gentle Valley. Reinvest revenue into staff and residents fairly, equally, to show that staff are as appreciated as much as the residents are appreciated, which will help increase efficiency and quality of the work. Transition part-time staff to full-time roles, as this will definitely one, help increase cohesion, and two, increase morale among staff who are juggling multiple jobs at hand. In the long term, develop an HR strategy for the future to properly address multiple things such as retention, recruitment, and compensation packages to help truly have Gentle Valley be a shining beacon for long-term care, as its staff would provide an amazing source of quality. Follow future provincial laws regarding the vaccine. If the province does pass a bill or a mandate regarding that healthcare workers must be vaccinated, then Gentle Valley must follow suit. Focus on fundraising and invest into Gentle Valley. Invest into amenities, into its staff, into many different avenues to help pursue a growth mindset, to help pursue a growth mission, which helps Gentle Valley grow in the sense that it's able to provide better quality and for its residences, as well as a better quality workplace for its staff. And all in all, reducing churn and increasing the quality of care is the sum up of the long term, as an HR strategy and an increased revenue source would drastically alter the course of Gentle Valley. Thank you.